Every year on May 28, the world comes together to mark Menstrual Hygiene Day, a global effort to break silence and stigma and promote menstrual health for all. Yet, even today, in homes, schools, and communities, menstruation remains a subject wrapped in whispers and shame. Why is something so natural still considered unclean or inappropriate to talk about? Today, we speak to women from all walks of life to hear their stories, their struggles, and their strength. Let's begin where every story starts, with the girl's first period. For many, it's a moment they never forget.
I was 11 years old when I got my first period, and it was back then in 2015.
I was 12 years old when I got my first period.
I was around 13 and 14 when my first period started.
When I was 13 years old, I got my first period.
12 years old, 15 or 14
I was around 14 years old.
I think I was 12 years old when I first got my period.
When I was 12, I think I was in 7th standard.
I was 12 years old when I got my first period.
I was quite shocked when it happened, but I would say that I was not scared. Thankfully, I already had that knowledge about menstruation from science classes in schools, and most importantly from my mother.
I was playing outdoors when I first had my period, and when I got back inside, I realized I saw a strange matter has stained my pants, and rather than being scared, I was kind of weirded by the fact that something strange was on my pants.
I wasn't scared, but at some point I was a bit happy. I felt like it's a part of growing up.
To be honest, I didn't share with anyone else at first because I thought it was natural for a girl to have a menstruation. But the first person that knew about my period was my mom. So when I was going to buy a pad, so she knew that time that I was on period.
First, the reaction, the experience, the calm, the mogi kachi begopina advice to suchinde.
I shared it with my sister. She responded very calmly and was extremely supportive. And she guided me throughout the process and taught me how to use a pad. And she even explained how to take care of myself during period.
Most girls get their first period between ages 10 and 15, but many are unprepared. Without knowledge, fear and confusion take over. In many homes, menstruation comes with strict rules. Girls are told what to do, where to go, and often what not to touch. While some customs are based on tradition, others are rooted in misinformation. These taboos can isolate women and make menstruation feel like a burden instead of a natural part of life.
My mom used to share when she had her first period, she was totally isolated to a very different place, different area. She was not allowed to come home, touch anything else, enter into temple, chesham, or for anything else when it comes to religious. But in my case, what happened was my mom just told me I was not isolated, though I was at home, but I was asked not to get into the altar or offer butter lamp and offer food or touch any items which belongs to dad and brother especially.
I was not allowed to enter temple, kitchen, or even touch religious item. I didn't enter those spaces for around a month in my first period. In the second month, it was for around 21 days. After that, it was for 14 days, and after that, just for 7 days.
I believe there is no certain standard or rule for women in particular, but it is just a belief that is rooted in our tradition, which revolves around the idea of rest and purity.
This thing should be known. This is our culture, we should follow, but in certain ways we have to look into it.
From hiding pads in black plastic bags to avoiding prayer rooms, these taboos create silence, and silence breeds stigma. Some believe that women during their menstrual days should not visit the altar room, temples, or offer water bowls. To better understand this from a religious perspective, we spoke with Lupin Kille, health and religion focal person from the Shungtratsang.
The amso dachen ombigi namdi dalo mixelgi so dipsale resume bigi ngachara chujung suma pedoji bojin tengachara gekapgi sunchop gyumcham de sum imbe te zumbe gi hajenda jene du te ani su yosi gi gyongkang tsachen sunalu juni dile te zemgobdi te ngachara tu tang phulera te tebe ta gyobada te jumchen le shara tebe shidi du se shuni bila tebe wale tindige tatai pana ya te ngachara chewa pinle guzu shinabe te chungwa yogi chunse te nyulenda kelin yicheke dira te unidigi te gyaragi te kensa zisa tebe imbe se shuni bila ani beni digi te dachen ombigi te namdulu di ngachara lyuda lyula di mayim begi chirtang te ngachara amsu gyongkana lo zuni di mebigi lamsul di te tachi shudo zumbera imbe te tuytangpulera te tebera du se shuni bingila te indira besa chure te tari nabagi dirab sabegi te pomo tsugi kengubdi te kachi kache so wachin amsu gyongkana lo zuni mi sewi lusil di te maji ngachara zamling chi tawa pomo danyamgi si judilu topodo zombe te so imbe se shuni bingila te no tusam tebe jeda brochi ba wachin ti jowain se shuni bingila kachimo so wachin te ngachara amsu disulu mi lutin imbadin te ngachara gyara pogi in reda amsu in reda mi lutin din te gyara chora thi mola tidra besa chure indra besa chure lyugi dupchei tele te soso yoba chamchi mato te pomo danyamdi te chora thi se shuni bingila te ani beni digira te ngachara chujung suma sulu te tsodip resu meba maze kadim chibe tsodip re shubachin te ngachara hemale lapsuldu tarina bae ngachara gi icheda tebera kib imbe lachujung suma sulu tsodip re shubdu chibe wachin nachare ku titizume beise wigi luju tebera shedudula te ani benedigi chesulu nyoka unidigi te ngachara amsu dusulu lakwardu te ngachara jambada ninjigi golebe lyuda semlu parche kache mebabe te kong chachap ani datsen ombegi kablu te kongra zem ngachi katule bedi besa jure te jambada nijigi gole te zumbi laga gyonga tsachin sunalu te machoba zem jamede te ngachi konglu mapap chabda tem tsada pole memba zo zora ngachi gi amsu sengalin te rangi ta phamai te rangi ayer amsu imbe mola ani phamai ba kera te phamdi kamchi dilin yobina kadi gaso yobinan tinkara ken tani benedegi amsu dusulu te lakbardo te ngachegi katule jambada nijegi golebe disimlu parchekachi machunigi tenlobe tebe juma chubi lamsulchi chamchi mato ngiringi goletsa tapule men se shuni beila.
Menstruation should never be treated as impure. It is a natural and essential part of life. Both religion and science play influential roles in our beliefs and behaviors. And when they promote empathy and accurate understanding, they can help break harmful taboos. Understanding the biology of menstruation empowers individuals to care for their bodies with confidence and dignity. For deeper insight, here is a segment from #GirlTalkBhutan, produced by Kuzu FM and Yeom Magazine in 2017, featuring an interview with Colonel Dr. Chenizamo, a gynecologist.
Menstruation is very natural, so there's nothing a girl cannot do during her menstruation. She can play games, she can go swimming, she can have a bath, she can go trekking. So menstruation should not restrict a girl. About 30 to 40 ml, so that comes about just a few tablespoons of blood whole period. So ideally you bleed for 2 to 7 days. So painful periods is basically there's a chemical called prostaglandin which is released by the body. So this prostaglandin causes the uterus to contract and relax. So because of that you can have painful periods, which is normal. For the painful periods you can take just over-the-counter drugs. You can take about 2 paracetamol 3 times a day, or 1 tablet of paracetamol 3 times a day. We can take brufen. We have something called as mefenamic acid. These one, but especially if you take brufen and mefenamic acid, you have to take try not to take on empty stomach. Then at home, if the pain is not so bad, you can just even get a hot water bag and put it on your lower abdomen. All girls, we have to remember that menstruation is a very natural process. So instead of shying away from it, you have to embrace it. It's like Mother Nature. So it's part of being a woman.
Menstruation is not something to be ashamed of. It's natural, it's healthy, and it happens to half the world's population. Yet, silence and stigma continue to surround it, making many girls feel confused, unprepared, or even excluded. When we don't talk about periods, we create space for myths, fear, and poor hygiene. It's time to change that. Let's build a world where girls feel confident, women are treated with dignity, and everyone understands that menstruation is a normal part of life. This Menstrual Hygiene Day, let's break the silence and say it proudly. Menstruation matters.